Welcome, latest episode of Talking Season. I'm your host, Ryan McNeil. I'm pleased to be joined by Auburn Tigers guard, Zep Jasper. Zep, thanks for your time today.
No, thank you. It's a pleasure.
First question for you is, when did you fall in love with basketball?
When I fell in love with basketball, I maybe was 5 years old. I started playing basketball in the backyard with some fellow friends, some older friends. Started playing, on the sand with one of those goals you hook up, and you fix the goal and, it can go up and down. I started realizing that I could really play with the best of them in that backyard of mine.
You had a chance to play for someone who I feel is one of the more iconic coaches in college basketball, and Bruce Pearl this past season. What's something that you enjoyed or you appreciated about playing for Coach Pearl?
Well, one thing I always tell people, the main thing that I enjoyed playing for Coach BP was his passion. His passion is something else that you will never get out of any other coach. He gives so much passion to the game that you would think he's playing in the game. When he takes his shirt off, you see a lot of sweat. You'll be like, dang, I swear he just played in the game. But he's one of those coaches that, he just gets you pumped. He gets you hyped. When he gives those speeches before the game, it's like, man, I got to go out here and play super hard for him. It's like, he's a great motivator. He's a great speaker. And I don't think a lot of people know this, that he was a motivator speaker for people before he even played, before he even coached college basketball.
I like that. I didn't know that. So that's a good little fact. I'm going to have to do a little research into that. You had a chance to play 3 or 4 seasons in the CAA, and this was your this past season was your first season in the SEC. What was that transition like? What were some of the big differences between the two conferences?
Well, the SEC, which I thought was the best conference in college basketball this year, and, the CAA, was a mid-major conference. But the biggest difference, in the transition for me was guys was bigger, stronger, can play better. Every night it was going to be a fight. Every night, each game was going to be a test, a battle. And no matter if the team was was in the last place, I realized, when I first got in the conference that these guys can really play. But the CAA conference, you maybe can take nights off. You maybe can give all right energy. But you have to have the same energy, the same enthusiasm every night in the SEC. Everyone is coming for your neck. Everyone is trying to give it their best. They got something to prove. Every team feel like they wanted to be Auburn this year. So I felt like, the SEC was stacked. It was a conference full of dogs, a conference full of people who want to win. So that was the biggest, difference, about transition from Charleston to the SEC.
I like that whole point about the energy, because Auburn was the number one ranked team for parts of this season. Teams were coming for you, but more importantly, the fans would get really hyped. What were the Auburn fans like for home games? Or what was the wildest, craziest arena you played a game in this past season?
That's a great question. These games were hyped. I never seen nothing like it. Auburn fans are the best in the world. I don't care if I didn't go to Auburn or not. Auburn have the best fans that show the best love. It's like a family over there. When you give it those fans, they show so much love. It's like you can't replace that love. And I probably would say the most hype game this year at home, I probably would say Kentucky game. It was a 12 o'clock game. Students was camping out. A lot of people was anticipating this game because it was a big game. It's like, two teams going at it, the best teams in the country. And I probably would say my away game. It was 2 away games. The one game I didn't play, and it was in Arkansas. It was a sellout crowd. I was watching on TV, but I didn't get to play, but I didn't get to feel the atmosphere there. But I can just tell, how loud it was and how deep it was. But I probably would say my biggest road game that I played in this year probably was Tennessee. They packed it out. They had something to prove, and they actually did beat us at their home. They was a very good team, and it was jam packed in there, full of orange and white, full of checkerboard. I was like, dang, we're junk crazy. Like they got a lot of fans in here. We don't got no one. It's just us. So that's probably was my best 2 games this season with a lot of fans, and that being a away game and Kentucky being a home game.
I was reading online an article about the special bond you have with your tutor, Lizzy Lesley, if I'm saying that correctly.
Oh yeah.
Can you share a little bit about the impact she's had on you academically and even personally? That just the impact she's had on your life.
When I first got to Charleston, I didn't know Lizzy. Lizzy didn't know me. My first day in the office, first day doing work, I told her, I don't know if I'm gonna make it because I didn't believe I could make it because the work was so hard. I just was doubting myself. And she told me, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it through. We're gonna make it through this summer. And once I got through the summer, I felt like I gained more confidence. She gave me the confidence to get through a lot of stuff in college. So, I built a relationship with her so much that, she a person I always will count on, no matter what I'm going through or how big or how low I am. She means the most to me, means the most to my family, people around me, because I wouldn't be at Auburn to this day if it weren't for Lizzy Lesley. She's the main reason that I'm at Auburn, is because with her help, I wouldn't be there and I wouldn't be able to put on an orange, white, and blue jersey. But she does so much for the community, the students, and people at Charleston, and I think she don't get recognized the way she should get recognized. But she just does so much of the little stuff to help people out that's going to succeed for her in life. And when she have kids, she's gonna always tell her kids and always show her kids that I had a special bond with Zep, and that mean the most to me, and I love her with all my heart.
This season had some highs, it had some lows. When you reflect on the past season for you and for the team, what stands out for you?
For me, I probably would say, that was a good question because, we first came into this season as a team. We was ranked like number 21, 22. Preseason ranked 6 in the conference. They didn't think Auburn was gonna win anything. But we basically had a, we had to show people on why we could be one of the best teams in the country, why we could, why we had Jabari Smith, Walker Kessler, and other great players. But as the season started going along and along, we start realizing that we can play with the best of these teams, that we one of the top teams too. So I believe like we were super hungry going into the season, super dedicated on getting that number 1 spot and showing people why they doubted us and why we can be better than what they doubted us. So, as the season started going along and along, we figured it out. We figured how we could beat teams. We figured how we could have fun and play around on the court and be all on TV doing this and that, having the kids looking up to us, having teams mad at us because we just having so much fun and, doing memes and mocks and, even our coach, BP, doing the stand thing, on TV, getting the broom out, sweeping. But it was a point of time, during the season where we went through a drought. And I would say at the end of the season, towards the end, we started hitting a bump in the road, and a lot of teams start, getting mad at because they didn't want us to win, and they felt like they had something to prove. And teams did prove that we could be beat. And once teams figured out we could be beat, they gained confidence. Like we went into the SEC tournament, with the being a number 1 seed and playing Texas A&M, and that first game, we went down by 19-20 as a number 1 seed at Texas A&M, and we went into the locker room. We down by 16. Like these guys kicking our ass, man. Like dang, man. Like locker room quiet, and it's like he coming there cussing us out. You playing soft. You playing soft. You playing soft. Just pointing at us saying we soft. we playing like we marshmallows, and we went back out there and tried to fight back, and they end up beating us, and getting us a first round exit out of the SEC tournament, which a lot of people thought it was going to be us in Kentucky, in the final SEC tourney. And as we all know, March Madness came, and we played, won the first game, around the 64, and then we ran into Miami, a team that a lot of people was anticipating us beating them because of our size and the way we play, and our defense and stuff like that. But it was the other way around. Miami, they gave us the business. I never really would imagine us getting beat that bad, going out the way we went out. But I had to give hats off to Miami because the way they played was excellent. They stopped everything we could do. It was on everything we did. And I just, I wanted to give all praise to their team on how they beat us. And, I gave them respect.
Final question for you. As journalists, we're always told, don't ask a question you don't know the answer to. However, the curiosity got really piqued on this. I was doing some research on you. I was intrigued because I don't know what a reverse tiger walk is, but you were having so much fun being part of that. It was almost late for the team flight last month. So what is a reverse tiger walk, and why was that moment going off to March Madness, doing the reverse tiger walk? Why was that so important to you? Why did it hit a nerve? Why did it get that emotional connection for you in that event?
The tiger walk is, on the away games, we have all of our fans, to stand out our hotel room, and we just, show them love before getting on the bus and all that type of stuff. But, the last Tiger Walk was pretty special to me, because, I'm in March Madness. It's my first time in March Madness. It was a dream come true. It's something I lived my whole life. I watched it on TV. I was a 7-year-old kid, one who playing in the backyard, and never pictured myself being in that position. Never pictured myself being on the TV and think I would be in March Madness. But it was like a dream come true for me. He was like a kid who came from nothing to something to make it happen. So, I always would cherish those moments, seeing those kids, those parents, and just seeing those people who show love to me. And I always want to show love back to them because they don't have to show love to me. They go out their way to show love to me because they're supporting me and I'm supporting them. And, I just try to stop by and please every fan, sign basketballs, take pictures, because I just knew whether we win or whether we lose, I wanted to be an Auburn man. I wanted to be a man that they remember forever, a man they remember that who their kids can look up to, who their kids can, tell themselves, I want you to be like this dude. He's never someone that think he's too big for someone else. I'm a regular. I'm a person just like the rest. I don't have to have a big scene. I don't have to have a little scene. I want to be fair and equal. And I just like to show people that and show people how kind of a person I am and how humble I am. And that's why I always would embrace those reverse tiger walks and tell the fans how much I love them and how much it really means to me, or how much the support meant to me this year.
Zep, thank you for your time today. I want to wish you the best of luck in either another Auburn season next year or whatever life has in store for you over the next few years.
We shall see. But I know one thing, this year was history. This will go down in my books forever. I'm going to tell my kids that I had a fun time, a very fun time. And I will never forget this team. This team was was one of the best teams I've been on in my life. One of the best coaching staffs in my life. Most funnest times at Auburn in my life. And I just want to, thank you for letting me do this interview. Thank you for taking the time out. Just a special interview because it means a lot to me, because you never know where you're gonna be in life. And I can look back at this in 10 years, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be on the internet. My kids gonna be watching this. My kids gonna be watching however man I am, how mature I am, and how much I love people. And I'm blessed, to get this interview and to tell people, how much I love them, without reaching out to them, and how much I love the Auburn people.